If you've been keeping up with the NBA lately, you've probably heard of the new NBA in-season tournament, but don't know what it is or any details about it. So stay tuned, because we're breaking it all down in today's video, including what it is, how the players and NBA benefit from it, and much more. The NBA's new in-season tournament, set to debut during the 2023-24 season, aims to introduce a novel concept to the league's schedule. The tournament will consist of two stages, group play and knockout rounds. In group play, the league's 30 teams are divided into 6 groups, 3 groups from the Eastern Conference and 3 groups from the Western Conference. The teams in each group are determined by a random draw of last year's regular season records. Each team will play 4 designated group play games, 2 at home and 2 on the road, against the other teams in their group, and each team will play in every team in their group at least once. For example, one group is the 76ers, Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, and Pistons. So the 76ers will play against the Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, and Pistons at least once, and 2 of those games will be played at Philly, and 2 of those games won't be played at Philly. After that, the top team from each of the 6 groups, along with an additional team from each conference with the best record amongst all 3 groups, which are called the wild cards, will advance to the knockout rounds. So the best team in each of the 6 groups will advance, along with 2 additional teams that played the best amongst everyone who didn't make it. The 8 teams that advance to the knockout round will play a single elimination game with 4 teams from each conference on one side of the bracket. After the first round, the final 4 teams remaining will be headed to Las Vegas, and the winner of each conference in the final 4 will be playing in the championship on December 9th. The winner of that matchup will be awarded with the first ever NBA Cup. And you might be thinking, what are the other incentives and purposes of this tournament, you might ask? Well, we'll dive into that more later into this video, so stay tuned. The tournament will take place on designated tournament nights during November, exclusively on Tuesdays and Fridays. Group play games will count as the regular season games and be accounted for in the standings, allowing the league to generate interest and meaningful matchups during a typically less relevant period of the NBA schedule. So think about it as regular season games that count for another tournament that's sort of like the playoffs kind of. The quarterfinals of the knockout round will be hosted by the teams with the best records in the group play, and the semifinals and championship will be held in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Group A in the Western Conference includes the Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Lakers, and Portland Trail Blazers. Group B in the Western Conference includes the Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, and Houston Rockets. Group C in the Western Conference includes the Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, and San Antonio Spurs. For the Eastern Conference, Group A includes the Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Atlanta Hawks, Indiana Pacers, and Detroit Pistons. Group B consists of the Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Washington Wizards, and Charlotte Hornets. And Group C of the Eastern Conference includes the Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, and Orlando Magic. The highly anticipated in-season tournament is set to bring an electrifying surge of basketball action, captivating fans with its unique blend of competition and drama. Kicking off on November 3rd, the initial matchups are nothing short of exhilarating, with notable games such as the New York Knicks taking on the Milwaukee Bucks in a battle of a loaded East B. The West B division sees a showdown between the Dallas Mavericks and Denver Nuggets, where we'll see 2 of the best European players in the world in Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic go at it. Meanwhile, in East A, we'll have a great game of the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers, where we'll see 2 of the best point guards go at it in Darius Garland and Tyrese Halliburton. The Washington Wizards will go up against the Miami Heat in East B, where we'll get to see a new-look Wizard squad go head-to-head with an experienced Heat team. Fans can also anticipate an intense matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls in East C. The action doesn't stop there though. The Golden State Warriors prepare to go head-to-head with the Oklahoma City Thunder in a West C game that's going to be loaded with guard play, with Steph Curry, SGA, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, and Josh Giddey all in one match. The West A division also offers a game of the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Portland Trail Blazers, where we'll get to see a jawless Grizzlies roster face a potentially dameless Blazers squad in a new-look matchup. As the tournament progresses, the stakes heighten, and matchups like the Brooklyn Nets versus the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers squaring up against the Phoenix Suns in West A will be must-see TV. The Lakers versus the Suns is especially exciting, considering that Kevin Durant and LeBron James are going to face up against each other for the first time since 2018. Some other notable games is the 76ers versus the Pistons, while the Hornets face the Wizards. In West B, the New Orleans Pelicans and the Houston Rockets will match up in what could be a very high-flying game with Jalen Green and Zion Williamson going at it. While the Utah Jazz and Memphis Grizzlies go toe-to-toe in West A, The intensity amplifies with the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the San Antonio Spurs, where Frenchmen Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert will meet again. We'll also get to see two of the best duos in the NBA go at it, with the Mavericks taking on the Clippers, with Kyrie and Luka versus Kawhi and PG. The OKC Thunder and Sacramento Kings round out the matchups in West C, where we'll get to see a thriller of SGA versus De'Aaron Fox. This tournament benefits for both the players and the NBA. For the NBA, the benefits of the tournament include generating additional revenue through television rights and capturing fan attention during a traditionally less engaging part of the season, as the regular season in the NBA has really watered down over the years, with more fans and players being interested in the playoffs, drawing inspiration from European soccer. The NBA aims to create a new tradition that encourages competitive play. Another huge benefit for the NBA is to have its players more engaged in the regular season. As most of you know, load management and not playing hard during the regular season has been a huge thing for today's players, so rewarding them for playing hard and winning the NBA Cup will in turn make more competitive games and just make the NBA more entertaining overall, as well as bring the NBA more money and not tarnish the league's name. Adam Silver and the NBA are reportedly working on getting all of the NBA's best players under 25 years old, who are the future of the league, to come in a meeting, convincing them to buy into this tournament so it can last for future generations of the NBA. For the players, the main incentive for the in-season tournament is the money prize behind it. Not everybody who plays in the in-season tournament will be rewarded, but the players on the teams that make it to the knockout round and beyond will get paid. The players that lose in the quarterfinals will get $50,000 each. Players on both teams that lose the final four semifinals will get $100,000 each. For the players that lose the championship, they'll get $200,000 each. And for all the players that win the in-season tournament, on top of getting the NBA Cup, which could hold value to a player's resume and team legacy, will each get $500,000. Although the in-season tournament isn't permanent, and this is just a one-year trial, if it works out, more money could be put on the table for the winners as the years goes on, if more sponsors decide to promote it. This additional money will no doubt push players to go harder and try to win games, which is what the NBA wants. In addition, individual awards like the in-season tournament MVP and all-tournament team will be presented. Another incentive for the players is the competitive aspect of winning something that could be big down the line, and adding an NBA Cup, potentially all tournament teams, or a tournament MVP to their legacy could be enticing. Additional incentives such as awarding an extra draft pick to the team that emerges victorious in this tournament and presenting a bye in the playoffs have been under consideration. And the idea of incorporating G League or international teams to play in the tournament is also within the realm of potential options in the future. Furthermore, if the tournament garners a positive response and proves to be advantageous in creating more buzz in the regular season, we could definitely see something like this happen in the future. The possibility of expanding the single elimination field remains under consideration, even in light of increased scheduling challenges. Alternatively, there is a chance that the entire tournament might be discontinued if it fails to enhance the overall well-being of the league. It's important to note that this concept is continually evolving. Some other pros to look at within this tournament is that it shows how the NBA isn't afraid to expand and try something new, which is always good. Another thing good about this tournament is that it gives younger, inexperienced teams a playoff-like environment to help grow the teams and prepare them for higher-level games down the road, all while not being under any pressure to tank. Despite the optimism though, there are skeptics questioning the tournament's impact on star players, fan engagement, and team priorities. The idea of a new championship, the NBA Cup, and the opportunity for players to earn significant prize money might resonate with players and fans alike fully. The league acknowledges the need for patience and acknowledges that it might take several years for the tournament to gain widespread acceptance and buy-in from all stakeholders. This could turn out to be a huge con down the line, with players not taking this seriously, because if they simply don't care, 1, they might not put effort into it, and 2, players might get into the mindset of giving it their all in this tournament and taking it easy for the next few months or potentially the regular season, which could be a detriment to the league down the road. I think that the NBA Cup could also potentially devalue an NBA championship, which would be a huge loss for the NBA. After all, by adding more games to the season, players may feel less motivated to play as the season goes on. With all 30 teams looking at one trophy at the end of the day to compete for an NBA championship, the NBA Cup could almost form as a distraction, but I don't think that it should be that big of a deal. Overall, I really think this is a great idea by the NBA and could benefit the players, the league, and the fans. When you weigh the pros and cons, the pros heavily outweigh the cons, and this will definitely be something to keep a lookout for.